My name is Shannon Martell, and I am an occupational therapy student at Nova Southeastern in the Doctorate of Occupational Therapy program. I want to talk about assistive technology and how important it is as occupational therapists to not only take into consideration the occupational therapy framework, but also to be looking at the PEOP model, the person, environment, occupation, performance. So when we're looking at this PEOP model, you have your person first. You got to look at what makes that person who they are without the disability or anything like that. Who they are, what they like, what they don't like, what they want to do, what they aspire to do, what makes them happy, sad, you name it, what makes that person who they are. And then next you look at the environment, the PE environment. So where is the person living right now? What are barriers where they're living? What again is helping them? What's hindering them? Different things like that. Who is there to help them? Who is again hindering them, not only a physical barrier but a person possibly, anything within their environment that is going to either help or hinder them. And then the occupation, what they do on a daily basis, whether they work, whether they don't work, what they do with inside their home, what brings them joy in their daily occupation, whatever it might be. And then we put all three of those together in a beautiful little package, and we get our performance at the end of that. And so as occupational therapists, it is our job with someone who is, has a disability, is doing rehabilitation or is doing habilitation, to figure out those three pieces: the person, the environment, the occupation, put it all together, do everything that we can within that to make sure that we get the utmost out of the end, out of the performance, to have them be able to function as best they can within the person, the environment, and their occupation. And so within assistive technology, it's very important to stay person-centered. A lot of times I feel like in the world today, we get very lost in our technology because it is so up and coming and it's so advanced and it's wonderful. It's great. Don't get me wrong. But it's very important for us to not get wrapped up in, oh my gosh, this is like the coolest new technology and I'm so excited. And so I'm going to use that for this client, when really it might not have been the best choice. You got to look at the person and see what the very best fit for them is going to be. Just like the book says, that the assistive technology needs to be an extension of the person, not an addition to the person. So making sure that the assistive technology betters and enhances not only who the person is, but their occupation, it helps within their environment. It helps make them become more of who they really are and who they want to be, and increases their performance at the end of the day, making their life even more easy with whatever disability they might be facing on a daily basis. So I think it's very important to stay person-centered, and I feel like a lot of times in me personally, I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is like the coolest thing ever, this is like so up and coming, new technology, I want to grab it, I want to go after it, as opposed to being like, what would really work best? It might be something a little bit more simple that I'm like, oh my gosh, I've done this a million and one times, but it's worth it because it only helps the person. For this past year before I started at Nova, I was able to work with a company called Safe Living Solutions, and that's what we did day in and day out. Is we would, we worked a lot with workers' compensation, and so I had the opportunity to go into a lot of different homes with a lot of different disabilities, and most of them were acquired disabilities. Concrete worker fell doing his job, fell 30 feet and is now paralyzed, from the waist down. And so he's, this is a whole new world for him. He's got 4 children and he's got a 3-story home. What do we do? Where does that assistive technology come into play, and what is going to be absolutely best for him? So I was able to do the home assessments. I am certified to do so. And so I was able to go into the home and be able to look at who the person was first, and then decide, what's going to be the utmost assistive, and helpful for not only him but for his family, and to help him get back to doing his as normal and as typical as he possibly could in his life. So I think that it's very important to stay person-centered, and client-centered and focused as we move forward in learning on our assistive technology.